If you're looking for a challenging adrenaline rush sci-fi boss rush fighting game with a great soundtrack, then look no more, my friends. Hey, what's up guys, Won't Catchers Gaming here, bringing you my first impressions of Furi. This game is such a refreshing take on the fighting genre that this is a must grab if you're into fighting games. So in Furi, you wake up as a strapped in prisoner who gets freed by a strange and mysterious looking man in a bunny outfit. The purpose of the game is to escape this prison you're in by fighting the bosses on each level. This game is a boss fighting game, so there are no smaller enemies you need to go through to get to the bosses. With that in mind, the game actually gives you very simple combat mechanics. You can dodge and parry, but as for offensive attacks, you press X or circle on your controller for your basic slash attack, or hold it for a charged up version. You also have a ranged weapon in the form of your pistol, which you can use the right analog stick by pushing it in the direction you want to aim and shoot. You can also use your right trigger to perform a charged up version of your pistol attack as well. That's it. That is all the game's controls involves. There is no extreme movesets you have to strictly learn or any complex combat mechanics for fighting. This game really shines in your reaction time and how different all the bosses are, figuring out their attack patterns and unleashing a devastating counter attack. Now these bosses are no pushovers, you will die. They all have different stages when you finish depleting their health bars. These bosses also have two types of health bars. Their first, blue health, basically puts you mostly on the defensive, but when you're able to deplete that blue health bar, it changes to orange and the camera moves in closer for a more adrenaline rush and really cool looking offensive fight. The game never really feels repetitive and it really puts you on edge as you start fighting harder bosses, and these bosses are all different, so you will always feel like you're learning new attack patterns and improving your reaction time. Parrying also feels great. Getting a perfect parry allows you to deal more damage and shows it off by putting on a cool animation, which are all different for each boss you get a perfect parry on. The game's also fair, I think, giving you some health for a successful parry, but also offering you the chance to pick some health pickups up if you're fast enough to grab them. Your character also has 3 health bars, so if you do die, you still have the opportunity to get up and fight the boss again, but just to bear in mind, the boss gets his health back if you do go down, just for you to avoid exploiting this. I also really love the visual aesthetic and art style they have gone for. Takashi Okazaki of Afro Samurai designed the character and stylization of this game, which is why it gives off an Afro Samurai vibe. The soundtrack for this game also suits the sci-fi style of Furi. What I like is that the game is able to blend well the tempo of the songs with the pacing of each fight, and also making it feel like you're really gearing up for the next boss after a boss battle where the narration takes place. It feels like each boss had the rhythm that you can follow and beat. A lot of fighting games really just throw a soundtrack in their games without really thinking of how the composition will really coincide nicely with each fight and actually make it feel like the soundtrack was just meant to be for the game, like this game does. And the narration and voice acting is actually pretty good. It feels like you're actually fighting for your freedom and trying to succeed in this goal, because the voice performance is strong, and even though your character is pretty silent, the bunny sidekick does a good job of not making the game feel silent and really moving forward character development and the story, making you want to fight the next boss he talks about and keep progressing with the game, trying to figure out the story and who this mysterious character really is, whilst soaking in the atmosphere after a boss battle and really just having that person explain what's happening around you. The game is actually not that long if you play on the easy difficulty and don't want to challenge yourself. On the recommended difficulty, however, a boss can take 20 minutes to complete and even longer if you end up dying, since you have to start over the battle and go through their different stages again. And I feel like this is the kind of game that would benefit from trophies or challenge things like unlocks for costumes, etc. for New Game Plus, which I'm not sure it does, correct me if I'm wrong, because that could make this game feel worth replaying again as you work towards different things the second time around, because it definitely gives off an arcade vibe, and the game really could make it worth going through a second time. The camera angles for this game are actually pretty well done. You really feel the attacks that hit. The second boss, I thought sometimes I got into a spot where I could not parry the enemy because I couldn't see him. He could be maybe behind a wall, but the game makes the AI move out of these positions, so it's really well done. The camera angles after a boss fight takes you into a dramatic narration style. Trying to control your character and make him walk where you want is a bit of a pain when the camera angle changes quickly in these scenarios, but fortunately you can hold A to have your character walk by himself, which the game really didn't tell you how to do. Even then, this is still a slight inconvenience that doesn't really affect the immersion of the game, but it could however be smoother. My only biggest complaint is that telegraphing could be done a lot better, because some of the new bosses you fight, you will have to get hit to know exactly when to parry, since there are no sound cues and all the bosses have different attack length. So the first time around when you try to parry, you will get hit, because it's more of learning the right time to parry instead of looking for telegraphing cues. So it is extremely punishing when you go up against the really hard bosses, and can go from very fun to very frustrating. There are smallish bugs, like the character's hair will clip into the camera sometimes, or his cape may go crazy, but nothing game breaking, and all this can be fixed in a small patch later down the line. This game is very punishing and really wants you to focus, because it can get insanely crazy, and if you don't dodge at the right moment while shooting off the enemy's orb attacks while still being able to parry at any time, then it is going to be very frustrating for players who are not used to this type of game. But myself, I really like the challenge, and watching myself being able to dodge projectiles all over the screen while still being able to parry at any time and still being on the offensive and having a millisecond reaction time feels really good and rewarding in this game. So all in all, I definitely recommend this game since it feels fresh. It really tests your reaction, the art style and soundtrack sound and look great, as well as the combat feels good, and getting those adrenaline rushes make you feel like a samurai wielding badass. The game's £18.99 on Steam, and I think it's well worth the price. But that's it for my first impressions, guys, or slash review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like if you did, and leave your reviews or your thoughts on the game down below. Do you agree with me or do you not? Do you have any concerns, or are there any game breaking bugs that you have faced? Because I know there's some Razer bugs that are happening with the game if you have Razer Synapse. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more commentaries from me, but as always guys, I'll see you on the next stream or the next commentary. Peace out guys.
Look at the sky, he kept saying, the dot on the sun, but no one listened.